Hi, today I'm gonna talk about my most beloved, most unknown feel-good movies. I'm Attila, your host, and you're listening to Movie Prosecutioners. Let's go. My most beloved feel-good movies. Movies that are maybe a little bit unknown for the general viewership. It's a little bit weird. I'm gonna start with a movie that won I think 3 or 4 Oscars in 2018. Gonna start with Green Book. Green Book is this movie I have to include because I watched it in the cinema. It was one of the first movies in the cinema that kind of blown my mind away, and I was like, okay, I have to include this one. It's a movie I watched with everybody who was asking me if we can watch a movie together, which is just has a nice feeling, and afterwards you feel I don't know, somebody is putting a blanket around you and you're just having a good time. Green Book is how do I say, it's like a form of road trip movie between an unlikely couple which is getting near to each other and learn from each other. It's two guys who find out that they have kind of a lot of things in common, even though at the beginning there's nothing in common between these two. And I don't know, it's such a perfect, wonderful movie that I don't know, I always remember it for one phrase, dignity always prevails. And I don't know, I think this is one of the most important messages that you can get out of a movie, that it's not the confrontation is not always the most important part. It's not always the most important part that you win this battle. It's important that you win the war, and the war is keeping your own dignity, keeping your own having your goals and go forward in this direction, and don't let you get be stopped by somebody who's just trying to win this battle. And yeah, I love this movie for that, and I think everybody should watch this movie. This is just a fantastic movie. Watch it. The second movie, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have not watched this movie. It's The Night is Short, Move On Girl from 2017. It's an animation movie, and it's absolute crazy delight. I watched this movie, I was nearly depressed. I was okay, what I do in my life, what I do today, what do I do tomorrow? It's a weird phase in between my bachelor thesis and whatever. And I was okay, I'm gonna watch this. It's animation, it's gonna be okay. And I after 30 minutes I was laughing, and I was non-stop laughing until the end of the movie. It's there's happening so much crazy shit in this movie, and you're oh wow, I've never expected this one, and then something else happens and you're oh fuck, I didn't expect that to happen. And it's there's no, I don't know, I think there's a structure, but it's it's really hard to get it, and it's really it's just walking on. The whole movie is just showing you some crazy shit, and then it goes further. And it's it's at the same time absolutely positive. Everything in this movie is yeah, it's just happening and we have fun, and this is not going to happen, but we still have fun. And so I think it's one of these crazy funny animation movies. It's Rick and Morty, but just in positive. And I love it. It's such a wonderful movie to have just a good time, and afterwards feel I don't know, maybe even inspired, because it's so weird, and it's not even quirky, because I'm gonna talk the next movie I'm gonna talk, it's quirky. And the next movie is Garden State. I don't know if you ever heard about Garden State. It's from 2004. It's with Natalie Portman. Oh wow. Ooh. But it's she's playing a maniac pixie dream girl. I don't know if you know the trope, but in general it's this a crazy girl who's getting attached to a loser, and it's always happy and wants to do crazy stuff, and you cannot put her in a box, and she's just doing what her emotions say to her, but she's always positive and cool and crazy, and it's kind of a maniac pixie dream girl. And like this movie is really quirky and like overcoming that you are identifying with like this really, I don't know, loserish character is a little bit difficult, but you get over it, and it's an interesting movie. And why it's in my top 10? Because like I think I watched it in the right moment at the right time, and it's like, I don't know, it gave me a push in the right direction, and I kind of draw energy from this movie because it's kind of makes you feel like, hey, there's a way up. Even if you feel down, there's a way up. And that's why I love this movie. Okay, let's go to the fourth one, Free Guy from 2021. Okay, it's a little bit difficult to talk about this movie because like there are two red flags for a lot of people. It's like a gamer movie and it's a Ryan Reynolds movie. And this can be like the dream combination for a few people, but I do know that some people really hate Ryan Reynolds. He's playing himself. He's like the guy of the 21st century. Like, he is always self-reflecting, always making jokes about himself, jokes about the meta game of like the world and movies and tropes and whatnot. And it's like, it's here a little bit like lower than that. He's only making jokes about gaming, but he's like, it's like a fish out of water principle. So he's basically coming to realize that he's part of a game, and so he's not making the jokes himself, but the whole concept about this movie is like a meta movie. So it's like talking about movies, or in this kind of way, it's talking about games and how games are functioning, and why so many gamers are like little children who just want to like destroy stuff, and they make these kind of jokes. And it's really, really working well. And I saw so many of my friends in this movie, and I saw so many of my past and what I did and how I was. Like, I was never like a big time on gaming, but a lot of my friends were. And I myself experienced, like, had a lot of time in front of like the computer, playing in front of Nintendo, in front of like stuff. So I know a little bit how this works, and I was really like, I was laughing a lot. And there's like the ending scene, there's a scene with a security guard, and like every time I watch it, like I can watch this in a loop and I get like goosebumps every fucking time. And so this movie is just working always, it's working so hardcore on me, and I don't like it's so precise, it's so fast paced, it's so funny, and I just love it. I just love this kind of movie, and it works. It really works well with me. So from like a really just fun movie that you can watch like every day, and that like you have a movie evening and you can have fun and stuff like that, we go to a movie that is like more of a commitment. And if you watch it, like, you have to take your time and like really get into the movie, because this movie is fantastic. It's wonderful. It's like Three Idiots. Three Idiots from 2009 is an Indian movie, and I know a lot of people don't like Indian movies, and I do understand that if this is like the 15th time people start to dance and sing for the next 4 to 5 minutes, it can be a little bit redundant and a little bit, taking you out of the movie experience. But this movie is different. This movie has like maybe 3 or 4 parts where they dance and sing, and it's really fitting into the situation. And I love everything else in this movie. Like, this movie, I talked about it like I think 15 minutes already on a different episode, but this movie is so much about teaching. This movie is so much about ambitions and about do what you love and do what you're good at and do what you feel is good for yourself. And this is in so many ways the case that I like. It's such a love letter for craftsmanship, for going your own way. And so this is like, it's such a wonderful movie. And I saw like, I mean, like, they talk about the Indian culture and about the pressure that they have, and I cannot relate in this kind of hardcore way that they have to feel pressure there in India. But it really made something, like, it really changed something in myself, how I see pressure and how I see what I want to do in my life. And so it's like, it's not only a feel good movie, but it's like a fantastic movie in general. It's just here on place 5 because it's like, it's not like because of its feel good movie. It's like one of the top movies that I ever watched in my life. So from that we go to a movie that would never be on the top 10 list of any other movie list that I have, but because we talk about feel good movies, it's there. It's The Holiday from 2006. And I know people will blame me for that one. The Holiday is okay. What is like? It's a rom-com, a romantic comedy, and it's like it's so bad as a movie, but it's like it's just doing everything right that it wants to make right. Like you have these like wonderful, beautiful actors who like all of them did like so great performances in other movies, and here what they just have to do is like have chemistry with each other, and they have it. Like I have never seen these actors being like so good in like loving somebody else in a movie. It's like it's fantastic. And it's like the whole like this kind of raw attraction to each other, and like I don't know, it's so good at what it wants to be, and it makes you like I don't know, want to like you just feel the love that these actors are applying. I don't know if they really have been in love, because I can really imagine that they have been, because this is like A tier, S tier actors who really give their S tier game, and it's like so cool to like, it's so beautiful to see people fall in love in front of you, and it's working so good on me, and I feel so good when I watch this. So here you have it. Yeah, and the next movie it's Stardust from 2007. A lot of 2000s movie, to be honest. Stardust is... Why is Stardust on this list? Stardust is on this list because it's like a fairy tale movie, and I'm really drawn to that, and I wanted to have one in this list. And fairy tale movies are so wonderful because like they have a certain moral and they get it through, and it's like an easy to watch movie, but still it's choosing like his point that I want to make about moral, about education. And that's the beautiful thing about fairy tales. And this one is like a modern and old one at the same time. And so I love the characters. I love how they develop. I love how the relationship between the two protagonists is developing from like a open antagonism to understand each other's feelings, to come to terms with what they want and where they want to go in their life. And this is like so beautiful that it deeply resonated with me, and it just makes me happy. Like watching this movie makes me happy, and I think this is like a very like cartoonic kind of movie, but it's just working so good, and I'm so happy after watching it. So it kind of deserves its place here. Okay, the next one is also a movie I think like a lot of people would not like see in one of these lists. It's The Nice Guys from 2016, and The Nice Guys is like the most controversial pick I'm sure on this list, because it's like a very violent and very sexual movie, and so I'm like, whoa, is that okay? But it's like there's a general positive vibe about this, and it's a general like it's so over the top that it's so funny, and you have like a wonderful chemistry between the two main actors. And I have to include a Shane Black movie, because his movies, like every one of his movies, makes me laugh like no other screenwriter can do it. And it's like if it's like The Last Boy Scout, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, The Last Action Hero, he's making the best one-liners that I know, and I have a sweet spot, a soft spot for one-liners, and he's just I don't know, he's just making movies so funny, and I love it. And so if you want like this kind of body cop one-liner movies. Go for The Nice Guys. It's just pure delight in like a very black humor kind of way, and I don't know, I love it. Okay, and now we come to like one of the last places. We come to the second place, and the second place is again a movie like who's a little bit more commitment to people, I guess. It's Singing in the Rain. Singing in the Rain from 1955 is a wonderful movie. It's like one of the best movies I ever watched, and it's like I don't know. It feels like a manipulative movie. It's so manipulative, and you know it, and it still works. They're dancing, they're singing, and just by how people look at each other, how the sets are, the songs are iconic. Everything in this movie is iconic. You can watch this movie right now and you feel like this looks better than like all the movies that we have right now. It's just a fantastic movie in every kind of sense. And just by watching a movie that is so well made, you feel better. But then they also have like these incredible positive gestures and feelings, and I don't know, songs. It's just perfect to feel better, and yeah, I love it. There's not a lot of what I can say there. It's a little bit weird that the studios in this movie, that's like the only part that I don't like, is kind of the studios are here like the victims. Like if you acted like a big actress is kind of using her power to get what she wants, and it's a little bit weird that the studios cannot do anything against that. But I don't know, it's a very good movie, and I think it deserves in like be in every list that has somewhat related to musical or romantic movies or whatever. Like this movie should be in every top list there is on this planet. But it's not my place one. And my place one is a movie from 2019. And it's so weird that this is my favorite feel-good movie, but I watched it like, I don't know, 7, 8 times with other people. And I even watched it not on Christmas, but it worked on me even if it was not Christmas. I obviously talk about the Netflix movie Klaus. And Klaus is like, it's so wonderful. It starts with like, like this really stupid, like well-off child who's not wanting to work, who's punished and has to go like to this faraway island where everybody hates each other and nobody's good to another, and then he's like tricking people. Because he wants to get away from there, and the way to get away there is like working hard and making his dad's company, proud. And this is like, it's so well, and it has such a beautiful turn. And I don't know, like I saw a lot of people crying with this movie, but like crying with like a bittersweet way of joy. And I don't know. This is like a fantastic movie. Just watch it. It doesn't even have to be Christmas for this movie. It's just like all the fucking time a fucking beautiful movie. So, yeah, that's from me. There's like, I obviously didn't include it like a billion movies. If you just want a few other recommendations, I would recommend all the dragon movies. I would recommend like in the cinema right now, Wild Robot. I would recommend all the Shrek movies, all the Ghibli movies. Not all the Ghibli movies, but a lot of Ghibli movies are like such a feel good stuff. Then Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and all these kind of Wes Anderson movies I also love. They're also very good and like getting up your mood. Then obviously I didn't have American blockbusters. Like I would say all the Star Wars movies for a lot of people are like such a delight and they make them so happy. But I just try to not include these. They're like, for me personally, they're not really working in the same way, and I just didn't want to have them. The last one I was like place 11. It's Coda, um, child of deaf parents, I think. I don't know for what the ancestors, maybe the A at the end. But Coda is like a really beautiful movie. You should watch that if you haven't watched already. I didn't want to have like a second motion picture winner in there or like a third, so it was like kind of okay, I can exclude that. But yeah, like all of these movies that I mentioned are like fantastic movies on themselves, but they also make you feel like so nice. Um, about yourself, about others, about where you want to go, or if you just want to lie down. And I don't know, all of these movies kind of make me feel better. And I wanted to do this list to have it for myself as well, and to know, okay, I haven't watched this movie in a long time, so let's go watch it and feel better. Yeah, that's basically it. A little bit longer episode, a little bit like more, like I took a lot of freedom in making this episode. I just wrote down a list and a few comments, and yeah, just started talking. So if you like that, please just comment or recommend or whatever. I would be interested in what you like and how much of these movies have you already watched. That would be very interesting. Okay, and I have nothing left to say. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope we see each other next time. Bye.